Getting Erev Shabbos. Not just Erev Shabbos. Erev Shabbos Hagadol. Getting ready, counting up to Pesach. We are here to turn our Friday into Erev Shabbos. Today is not just Friday, it's Erev Shabbos. It's Erev Shabbos Hagadol. In fact, the Shabbos Hagadol Drasha might have been given last week, but technically Shabbos Hagadol is this week. I want to thank our sponsor, Mendy and Tzipora Fishman, Fredel, memory of Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Yaakov Tzvi Ben David Aryeh for sponsoring as always. This is an extraordinary Shabbos. It is the great Shabbos. It is one of two big Shabbos in the year. We've shared many times that Chazal, our Rabbi Zayel Malay, Shamru Shtei Shabbos, if we'd only keep two Shabbos, Miyad Nigalan, immediately we'd feel we would receive, immediately we'd be saved the Geula, the redemption. Which of the two Shabboses? Maybe Shabbos Chazon, Shabbos Nachamu, but Shabbos Shuva and Shabbos Hagadol. Shabbos has an incredible power, an amazing ability. And so this Shabbos, Shabbos Hagadol, the great Shabbos. Why is this Shabbos called Shabbos Hagadol, the great Shabbos? So we know that in the original Pesach Mitzrayim, when the Jewish people left Egypt, before we actually offered the sacrifice, before we actually were redeemed and we left Egypt, first on the 10th of Nisan, which that year in the original year happened to be a Shabbos. On the 10th of Nisan, we took the god, the deity of the Egyptians, of our oppressor, of our taskmaster. We tied it to the bedpost. We let it sit there for several days until we slaughtered the god of our oppressor. What courage that took. What a statement that made. What conviction that put in our hearts. And then we used the blood to mark our doorposts so Hashem could skip over them. And since that first display of courage to face and look down the all-powerful taskmaster who had oppressed us for more than 2 centuries, to take their God, to tie it up, that originally happened on a Shabbos. The 10th of Nisan was a Shabbos. Therefore, the Shabbos before Pesach is called Shabbos Hagadol. But famously, everybody asks, what does it have to do with Shabbos? If the 10th of Nisan is significant because we demonstrated courage and conviction, then let's observe a quasi-holiday on the 10th of Nisan every year. What does it have to do with Shabbos? And the answer they give, many Svarim HaKadoshim bring, is that it wasn't just the 10th of Nisan, the date on the calendar. It was also the day of the week. It was Shabbos. Shabbos is a day of courage and conviction. Shabbos is a day that we go from mochin de katnus. All week long, our thinking is constricted. All week long, our thinking is narrow. All week long, we're overwhelmed. And Shabbos, when we free ourselves from technology and to-do lists, Shabbos, when we take that step back, Shabbos, when we're no longer concerned with the news and the stock market and sports, Shabbos, we have mochin de gadlus. Our mind is expanded. And neshama is yisera. And in that, we can feel the connection of Hashem. We feel a love and a loyalty. We feel a sense of mission. We feel a sense of protection and safety and security. And it was Shabbos that gave us what we needed, that energy, the mochin de gadlus, that great and big and broad thinking that enabled us to do what was necessary to face down our oppressor, to free and liberate ourselves. And so, ultimately, the Pesach that we would celebrate began. It finds its beginning in the Shabbos that comes before. Not just the 10th of Nisan, the day on the calendar, but significantly also the day of the week. And that's why Shabbos Hagadol, Shulchan Aruch, when it records Shabbos Hagadol, Siman Tov Lamed Sif Aleph, Shabbos Shnei Pesach Kornoso Shabbos Hagadol. Why? B'nei Hanes Shena'aseh Bo. On the Shabbos before Pesach, we observe Shabbos Hagadol. We read a special Haftorah. It's the Shabbos Hagadol. Why? Because of a nes, a miracle that happened then. And more normally, we think of what was the miracle that happened then. It was the miracle of the courage to stand up to our oppressor. But others suggest, read it, the word nes, like we say in Tekah B'Shofar in our Amidah. We say Hashem spread a nes. A nes is a banner. A nes is a flag. A nes is a proclamation. A nes is a declaration. Neshanasa b'nes. Shabbos Hagadol, there was a big declaration, a big proclamation. We were able to tap into the best of ourselves. We were able to see beyond what was right in front of us. We were able to act with courage and conviction. We were able to partner with Hashem and bring about our own redemption. And the same is true, Chevra, this Shabbos. We're not just turning our Friday into Erev Shabbos, and this is no ordinary Shabbos. This is Shabbos Hagadol. We're getting ready for the big day, for the big Geula. We're getting ready for Pesach, to be liberated, unshackled, unburdened, taken out from whatever is holding us back. The Zohar HaKadosh, the Heilige Zohar writes, that everything that is destined to happen in the week to come already finds its energy, its underpinnings in the Shabbos that precedes it. That means that Motzei Shabbos will be the first Seder next week. Motzei Shabbos, Sunday, Monday are Pesach. It's Shabbos that energizes and drives and is the engine in what's going to come. All the miracles that were destined to happen, they already began, they were already designed, they were already in the making, in the creation on the Shabbos that happened before. So this Shabbos, our attitude towards this Shabbos gets us ready for our Pesach. And on the one hand, Shabbos is Shabbos HaGadol, relative and in relation to Pesach. But on the other hand, Pesach can't take away or compromise the beauty of each and every Shabbos. This Shabbos, usually on Erev Pesach, every parent urges, encourages, maybe a shtickle bribes or threatens the children, take a nap, stay up for the Seder, you got to take a nap, you got to take a nap, you got to take a nap. And who on a weekday is ever able to take a nap? It never works, even if you lock children in a room, it usually is never effective. But this week, we're going into the Seder, we're going into Pesach with Shabbos. We can shluff and we can rest. And it's a long day because you have to have 2 meals by the time of the end of Chametz in the morning in order to get Shalashudas in as well. It's a Shabbos. Erev Pesach, Shchalius b'Shabbos, everybody's more makbid, more concerned, more committed to Shalashudas than ever. Though Shalashudas, Raiva Deraivan, is the holy each and every week. The Eis Ratzon is Man Mincha, even if you're having the 2 meals in the morning, nevertheless, still that afternoon, have some fruit, have some fish, have some meat, have something in the time in the Eis Ratzon of Mincha, of Raiva Deraivan, the Ratzon Shabritzonos, this holy, auspicious time and moment of the week. So we're all going to want to nap and sleep and learn and read and prepare the Haggadah. But here's the thing. You're not allowed to say, take a nap so that you're awake for the Seder. You're not allowed to say, take a nap so you're well rested for Pesach. You can't say that because to do it would be preparing on Shabbos for after Shabbos. Even though it's preparing for Pesach, it's preparing for something which is holy. Still, we don't prepare on Shabbos for after Shabbos, which reminds us about protecting the dignity and protecting the honor of Shabbos. That even though it is Shabbos HaGadol, even though it is Shabbos before Pesach, and even though Shabbos is going into the beautiful and holy Pesach, and it's Shabbos HaGadol, it identifies, but still on the other hand, you can't bring Pesach into Shabbos, because that's preparing for after Shabbos. On Shabbos, Shabbos deserves the honor we give it. It's a long Shabbos. Be done with both meals yet early in the morning. What are we going to do with the rest of Shabbos? Learn, read, laugh, sing, play, and rest for Shabbos, because Shabbos deserves it. Because it gives us mochin de gadlus. It expands our mind, our horizons. It broadens our thinking. It liberates and it frees us. That's why every Shabbos, not only Shabbos HaGadol, is zecher liyetzias Mitzrayim. So may it be a beautiful and a restful and a holy and a happy and a healthy Shabbos. A Shabbos which is gadol, which is great, which gives us mochin de gadlus, which gives us a big perspective and broad vision and big ideas for Shabbos, for ourselves, and so that we can have the most beautiful Pesach, a geula, Mitzvah Shem Halavai. We should meet in Yerushalayim. Wishing everyone a Chag Kasher v'Sameach.